Have you ever wondered why insurance companies seem so eager to settle your claims quickly? That's because they have one goal in mind: to settle for as little as possible. I'm going to help you understand and educate yourself on how insurance companies work. Let's jump right in. First up, you want to ask them, what is the full policy limit of this claim? In other words, you want to ask the insurance company, what is the full amount of insurance policy or insurance that the defendant had to cover your injuries? Why is this important? Because you don't want to negotiate against yourself. Adjusters rarely volunteer this information. They don't want you to know what the full maximum policy is. And under Michigan law, they actually don't have to tell you. But if they get permission from their insured or their policyholder, they do have to tell you. The insurance company is never going to offer more than what the policy limit is. But at least if you've got that information, you know what you're dealing with. For example, let's say they offer you $50,000, but the insurance policy is $100,000. If you don't know any better, you might accept the $50,000 thinking that's the full insurance policy. But in reality, it's actually double that amount. That's why it's imperative to find that information. The next question to ask them is, can you show me how you exactly figured out my settlement amount? They will be very vague. They're not going to want to tell you a whole lot of information. It's important to contact a lawyer to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. There is no real calculation in figuring out what a settlement amount is. This is where we come in and we try to highlight how the car accident or the slip and fall or medical negligence case has affected your life. The amount of treatment is important, the severity of your injuries is important, future medical care is important, past earnings, future earnings, all of these things are taken into consideration when figuring out what a proper settlement amount is. Another thing you want to ask the insurance company is, have you accounted for my future medical expenses and future lost wages? A lot of times the adjusters are going to want to brush you off when it comes to that question. But this is super important because when you settle, you only have one time to settle. You can't go back to the well later on. So your attorney should absolutely be asking, do you need future medical care? If so, how much? You want to know how much I might need in the future for rehab, how much you might need in the future for physical therapy or surgeries. Or let's say you're not going to earn as much money. How much am I going to lose in lost wages? We can take that out for the rest of your career and figure out how much exactly you're going to lose in lost wages because of the negligence of the other person. It's really important to find that information out and present that to the insurance company. And they hate dealing with future lost earnings and future medical care. Number 4. The fourth thing you should ask your insurance company is, has a qualified medical professional actually looked at my file? Usually it's just the insurance adjuster who's looking at your file. Why is this important? Because insurance adjusters are there for one reason. Remember, to pay out as little as possible. So they are going to take whatever they see in the medical records and use it against you. They are never going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So what should happen is that your doctor should be able to explain through the writings and through the documents in their medical records what your injuries are, how it's related to your crash, and the prognosis for recovery. This is all really important stuff to get documented in your case so you can present it to the insurance company and get a higher value for your settlement in the future. Number 5, you want to ask your insurance adjuster for any and all copies of your files, of photos, of videos, and ask them to send that to you immediately. Most likely, they may not do that, and that's where a lawyer comes in and can get that information. You need to be aware of what's out there. If they have surveillance of you, you need to know that. Your attorney can get that information. If they took photos of you, you need to understand what those photos are and what they are showing you doing. All of that is so important to your case. Adjusters and defense attorneys love to hold back key evidence. That includes witness statements, photos, videos, anything that can help them with their case and to minimize your settlement. Don't let them do that. This is where an aggressive attorney comes in, files the motions that need to be filed, and gets access to that information as early as possible during your case. It's also important that your attorney gets this information and reviews it as quickly as possible. And you can help your attorney review this. And this will be helpful for the attorney because you might be able to explain, what was going on in this particular photo or this video. So you can explain to a judge and jury what was going on at that time. What to watch out for in these situations? Well, if the insurance adjuster, again, is hesitating and doesn't want to give this information up, you need to contact an attorney as soon as possible, because that means they have some damaging information that they don't want to share with you that's going to impact your case. And finally, what happens if I don't accept their settlement offer? Well, if you're not comfortable accepting their settlement offer, don't. Contact a lawyer. Get professional advice. Find out what you think or what they think your case is worth. Many people feel pressure to take the first offer. Don't feel that pressure. Consult with a professional. Talk to an attorney. Also, make sure that the insurance adjuster isn't being too pushy or rushing you too much. You can take your own time. You're not on their timetable. They're on your timetable. The key takeaway here is never take the first offer. Be patient, and to contact a legal professional that knows the value of your personal injury case before accepting anything. So if you've been injured here in an accident in Michigan, drop a comment or give us a call at 1-800-LEAVE-FREE. We'll be right there.
Call Lee Free. Call Lee Free.